Heartbreak in Australia. A story so devastating it sounds like a movie plot. But this is no film. This is real, raw, and unbelievably tragic. In the vast and beautiful land of Australia, known for its diverse wildlife, one gentle creature has come to symbolize the heart of the country, the koala. Soft, sleepy, and endlessly adorable, these iconic animals are loved not only by Australians but by people all over the world. And for good reason. I mean, have you ever seen a baby koala sneeze? Since serotonin. They look like plush toys with real feelings, nature's cuddle ambassadors. But even the cuddliest creatures aren't safe when disaster strikes. After a devastating bushfire tour through the Budi Bim National Park in Victoria, hundreds of koalas were left clinging to life, badly burned, injured, and starving. The fire swept through the forest like an unstoppable monster, reducing trees, homes, and hopes to ash. These koalas, once perched happily in eucalyptus trees munching leaves and judging you with sleepy eyes, were now stuck in scorched wastelands. Many were too wounded to move. Some were suffering slowly. Others were barely holding on. Rescuers were heartbroken, but even worse, they couldn't get to them. The terrain, the government said, was too dangerous. Collapsed trees, smoldering earth, unstable ground. It was nearly impossible to get food, water, or medical supplies to the koalas in time. Helicopters circled the skies, trying to assess the damage. But what they saw broke their hearts. That's when the unthinkable decision was made. Instead of letting the animals die slowly and painfully, the Australian government approved a plan to euthanize the koalas by shooting them from helicopters. Let that sink in. Approximately 600 to 700 koalas were killed this way. Not out of cruelty, they said, but out of compassion. The official statement described it as a hard but necessary decision to prevent further suffering. From a cold, clinical perspective, they were trying to end the pain. But from an emotional, human point of view, this was heartbreaking. News of the mass killing spread fast. Animal lovers, conservationists, celebrities, and everyday people around the globe reacted with disbelief and rage. Social media lit up. Hashtags like #SaveTheKoalas and #KoalaMassacre trended. Thousands of people asked the same question: why didn't they try harder? Critics argued that the government acted too fast, that more could have been done. Couldn't they have parachuted in supplies? Couldn't they have used drones to drop food or set up remote feeding stations? Couldn't they have formed volunteer rescue teams with protective gear? These questions echoed across newsrooms, living rooms, and classrooms. Of course, there were those who understood the impossible nature of the situation. Bushfires leave behind a dangerous, apocalyptic landscape. Walking through it is like stepping into a scene from Mad Max. Only instead of action, there's pain and silence. And the silence is the worst part. Because that's when you realize there's no more rustling leaves. No more koala calls. Just smoke and ghosts of what once was. But still 600 to 700 koalas? That number stings. Let's pause for a second. Picture a fluffy koala awkwardly trying to climb a tree, only to slide down like it forgot how to koala. Or one curled up like a fur ball, looking like it's in deep meditation or silently judging your life choices. These animals are not just cute, they're part of Australia's identity. Tourists come from all over the world just to get a glimpse of them. They're on postcards, souvenirs, and travel posters. Killing them, even to stop their pain, feels like tearing a piece of Australia's heart out. One of the most painful parts of this story is the lack of transparency. People want answers. They want to see the data, the expert reports, the internal discussions that led to this decision. Right now it feels like a closed-door tragedy. The public wants the light turned on. Environmentalists are demanding a full report. What surveys were done? What expert wildlife vets were consulted? What alternatives were considered and why were they dismissed? It's a brutal reminder of how unprepared we still are when nature rebels. Australia is no stranger to bushfires. In fact, they're becoming more frequent and more intense due to climate change. But koalas were already endangered before this. Their habitats have been shrinking. Roads, farms, and housing developments have sliced through their forests. And now fire is taking what little is left. Some experts estimate that at this rate, koalas could become functionally extinct in the wild in just a few decades. Functionally extinct means there aren't enough left to keep the population going. And after this incident, that future feels even closer. So, what now? This tragedy has ignited a conversation far bigger than one national park. It's forcing people to ask, how can we do better? How can we prepare for the next fire? Can we build better emergency response systems for wildlife? Can we fund more drone technology, more fire-resistant wildlife shelters, more training for volunteers? The good news, yes, there is some, is that this tragedy has also awakened a powerful force: the people. Donations to wildlife organizations have surged. Volunteers are signing up for wildlife rescue training. Engineers are pitching new ideas like biodegradable food pods that can be dropped into fire zones. Inventors are designing mobile animal hospitals. Filmmakers, artists, and musicians are dedicating works to the koalas lost in Budi Bim. Even school kids are holding fundraisers with lemonade stands and koala cupcakes. Yes, that's a thing to help support rescue missions. There's something deeply human about our connection to animals. We see ourselves in them. Their innocence, their helplessness, their trust. We imagine what they must have felt in those last moments, scared, alone, in pain. And we feel responsible. So if anything good can come from this, let it be this. Let this tragedy be the last time we're unprepared. Let it be the spark that ignites a better future for all wildlife. Koalas don't ask for much. A few trees, some leaves, and a safe place to nap 20 hours a day. We can give them that. We should give them that. Because they're not just animals. They're a part of our world's story. And if we lose them, the silence will say more than any words ever could. Now take this story, share it, talk about it. Don't let it fade away like the smoke from the fire. Because silence helps no one.